everyone. Welcome to this episode on AWS Direct Connect integration with VMware Cloud on AWS. My name is Satya Shrestha, a senior staff executive solution architect here at Broadcom, and I'm joined by Chandra Dhungana, who is a senior cloud infrastructure architect at Broadcom Japan. Welcome to the show, Chandra. How have you been?
Thank you, Satya. Thanks for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for asking. Today, we have packed agenda here, a little bit around the networking construct in AWS, and also some demo, right? So can you exactly tell us what we are going to be doing today?
Thanks, Satya. In today's session, we'll talk about how we integrate VMware Cloud on AWS with the VPC, right? So especially direct connections integration with VMware Cloud on AWS.
Okay.
While we talked about VMware Cloud and talks about the direct connections, basically in the AWS space, we have the different kind of virtual connection, right? So while you talk about direct connections, there's the private VF, transit VF, and public VF.
Right. These are the ways we can connect to various environments using Direct Connect, right? And these are the constructs that is available in Direct Connect.
That's right. So while we talk about the private connect, so either we connect from the private VF, transit VF, or public VF. Private VF, this is actually one-to-one connections. You'll have the one VPC, one private VF. So let's say if you have like the 10 SDDC, you will require the 10 private VF. So it's not good if you scale up multiple SDDC.
Right. So it's like 1:1 kind of connection there, right?
That's correct.
Yep.
And for the transit VF, the combination of the DX gateway and the BTGW you can connect with. So the use case, you can have multiple SDDC. For example, let's say you have the 10 SDDC, and you can have the transit VF that connect with the BTGW, and then all the SDDC can talk to each other, right? So it's very efficient. And also you can pair it with the AWS transit gateway, and also the VPC and SDDC can communicate to each other. Basically, in today's session, we'll be focusing on this more.
Right. So in this, what I hear is this is like a many-to-many kind of connection where many networks can connect to many networks, and then they can talk to each other, right? Without having the need to connect one-on-one. Is that right?
That's correct. So you have multiple VPCs, and you have multiple SDDC, and you need to have the communication to each other. So you have the proper peering and the routing configurations, and the routing traffic is very efficient. It doesn't go all the way to on-prem, so it can route the traffic cloud to cloud.
Got it. So this is the main topic for today.
That's right, and this will be the main topics for today. And also we have public VF. Public VF is public connections. If you have the public VF, and you can connect it through the VPN, you need to have the global IP address on-prem and also the global IP address in the cloud side. So you can do the VPN over the public VF. That's also you can do, but most of the cases, either private VF or the transit VF are used.
Got it. So now in this diagram, I see a lot of acronyms here. Just to clarify to our viewers, so DXZW is Direct Connect Gateway. VTZW is VMware Transit Gateway, right? It's the VMware's versions of Transit Gateway. And of course, TZW is Transit Gateway. SDDC is Software Defined Data Center. VPC is Virtual Private Cloud, which is a networking construct within Amazon. Now, before we actually move on to the next slide, can you describe a little bit around what is VTZW and how it works?
So VTZW is the VMware Transit Connect. It's a high-speed connection, and under the hood, it leverages the AWS Transit Gateway. And this is managed by VMware, so the customer doesn't need to worry about anything, just a few clicks. And it's a fast connection between SDDCs and VPCs.
Got it. So this is VMware's construct that we use internally, again, VMware's Transit Gateway, and is managed by VMware, hence we call it VMware Transit Gateway, right? And then you'll be showing how we create that in our demo, is that right?
Yeah, I do.
Excellent. Now, one more acronym I missed earlier is VIF. So VIF is Virtual Interface.
That's correct.
Awesome. Okay, let's move on to what we are actually going to do in the demo.
Okay. In today's demos, I have the SDDC one. The SDDC is already deployed. So first is we create the SDDC group. The SDDC group is VTGW. And I have given the name the VTGW demo. And at the part of the creation, we'll attach with the SDDC. So VTGW will be created and SDDC will be attached in the step 1. And the step 2, we associate the VTGW with the DX gateway so that the SDDC will have communication to on-prem. And so we'll be doing the peering between VTGW and TGW. I have given the name VTGW is VTGW demo, and TGW name is TGW demo, and we'll do the peering. And we'll do some routing configuration so that the EC2 instances in VPC can communicate with the VMs and SDDC.
Got it.
And the last, what we do to allow the communication, you need to set up the firewall rules. The firewall rules need to be set up on both the SDDC and VPC side. And once that's been done, then we should be able to do network connectivity tests from EC2 instances or from the VMs and SDDC side.
We can just do basic ping tests and then see the traffic flows correctly. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
All right. So yeah, this is awesome. I mean, we got the task here. Now, how does actually our lab environment look? Can we show architecture diagram of that?
Sure. So this is the existing environment already there. So I have on the AWS side and the Oregon regions, I have the 2 VPC created. The
Yeah.
VPC is under the VPC1. VPC1 is 10.50.50.023 CIDR range.
Yep.
And I have the VPC2 that's on the 10.40.40.0/23 CIDR range. Then I
Yep.
have the EC2 running on each of the VPC.
Yep.
And the VPC is attached to the TGW.
Yep.
And the TGW is associated with the DX gateway, and the on-prem
Yep.
can access the VPC resources, especially EC2 from on-prem.
Right, got it. So now in the diagram, the network flow is like anyone in on-prem with that 172.16.0.0/16 CIDR can follow the traffic through direct connect, then DX gateway, and then TGW, and then reach to the VPC, both VPCs, right? Without any issues.
That's correct. Yeah. And then this is the scenario. For example, let's say if your customer has already this environment and they deploy the SDDC, I'm simulating that use cases.
Yep.
And SDDC is already deployed here in the demo. So our first task will be create the SDDC group. SDDC group is essentially the VTGW.
Yep.
And attach it to the SDDC1. Once we do this one, and we associate the VTGW with the DX gateway, and then we configure the prefixes to flow the traffic to on-prem.
Yep, got it.
In this scenario, customer from the on-prem data center, they can access the VPC resources, EC2 resources, and the same time SDDC resources as well. In our case, the VM in 192.168.1 network.
Yeah,
okay. And in this scenario, if the EC2 instance and the VPC1 need to communicate with the SDDC, they need to route the traffic all the way to on-prem and then come back to the SDDC. So to avoid these hairpinning traffic issues, we do the peering between VTGW and TGW. So the communication from the EC2 and the VPC1 can communicate with the resources and the SDDC. And the last, we need to set up the firewall rules on the NSX side, and also the security group configurations on the VPC side. Once you allow the traffic, and we can see the ping test activities between them.
Oh, nice. Okay, there's quite a bit of task here. Yeah, looks interesting, man. But let's go to demo.
Sure.
Okay, I can see that you're already logged onto our VMware Cloud Console, and looks like there's a lot of SDDCs here already. So show us the SDDC that we're gonna be using and run through, what we're gonna be doing here.
Sure, Satya. I have already accessed the VMware Cloud on AWS console. You can see the multiple SDDCs here. In our case, we're using the SDDC1.
Yep.
The SDDC1 is already created, as I showed in my diagram earlier. And also, I have the SDDC, this vCentral is running, and I have the Linux 01 VM running on the SDDC side. Yep. And once we do the connectivity and all the configurations, once we do, and we do the test and validation, right? And for example, if you go and do the test now, it doesn't ping, right? And we didn't have route, and we didn't have anything.
So that IP address you put in there is IP address of EC2 instance that is actually in one of the VPC, right?
That's right, and the VPC1, the one of the instance in the VPC1.
So we're just trying to see the connectivity. If there's a connectivity, and they can communicate with each other, and we can clearly see right now, because we haven't done anything, there is no communication at the moment. Okay.
That's right. That's right. And if you go in the VPC side, and I'll quickly show this one on the VPC, and I have the few VPC here.
Yeah. And all these VPCs, they are in Oregon region, right?
Yeah, all are in the Oregon region, yes. And our SDDC also in the Oregon region.
Also in Oregon region. Okay. Okay.
Okay. And we have this VPC, and then also we have the transit gateway already configured there.
So all these resources need to be in the same region, right?
For the transit connect, we don't need to. As long as you have the peering between the VTGW and the transit gateway, you can communicate. But if you have like the inter-region, there will be some cost involved.
Okay, so if it's a multi-region and then you are trying to use transit connect to connect multiple regions, there will be extra cost for that, right? Especially the egress costs.
That's right, yes. So here, what we'll do in first step, we'll go and create the SDDC group. The SDDC group, and have the SDDC group tab here. Some of the SDDC group is already configured. For the demo purpose, we'll be creating one.
Yep.
The SDDC group is nothing. It's like the VTGW, right? The VMware Transit Connect.
Yeah. So this is like a basic construct that as soon as we create SDDC group, it creates the VTGW and connect it to existing SDDC.
That's right. That's a part of the action here. Okay. So what I do on the action side, go in action and create the SDDC group. So once you create the SDDC group, it asks for the name. We supply the name. Let's say the VTGW demo. Demo. Yep. And then go to next. And it shows all the SDDC on this org. In our case, SDDC1. When we have multiple SDDC, you can see multiple SDDC, but in the demo, we're just attaching the single SDDC.
Got it. Got it.
Next, and confirm it and create a group. So now we have pending status. It takes some time. So let's wait for some time until it gets completed.
Okay. So Chandra, I see that it is in a pending state right now. Actually, what is happening? What is it trying to do at the moment?
So while we create the SDDC group, what it does is this workflow, and then under the hood, it will use VMware Transit Gateway construct and you spin up all the construct on the VPC. It's just a workflow, all things automated. So we don't see any process, but under the hood, it will creating all the required components.
And it just connects to the SDDC, so it's ready. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's still pending. Looks like it's going to take some time.
Yeah, it will take some time. Let's wait until it's complete.
Okay. All right. So it looks like the SDDC1 connection with VTGW is done, and it's come up as connected. And how long did it take, Chandra, for us to go to this state?
Basically, it takes like 5-10 minutes. If the environment is bigger, it might be a little bit longer, but in our case, it completed in 6 minutes.
So what's the next step here then?
So the next step, what we're going to do, we're going to do the step 2 associating with the DX gateway, right?
Okay, yep.
We have the couple of things here. So what we do, and we go and look at on the AWS side, and
So this is the
DX.
AWS console where all the resources are, right? Yep.
That's right. Yes.
Mhm.
We have the DX gateway here,
Yep.
and these are the account, and later we'll see that whether it will be associated with here, right? So
Yep.
we'll connect it to the DX gateway. Let's go back to the BTGW,
Mhm.
and we have the direct connect here.
Yep.
And we add the AWS account.
Okay. Okay.
So let's click on add, and we need to provide the direct connect gateway ID and also the owner of the direct connect gateway.
And that is the account, right? AWS account.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so we go here, and this is the DX gateway ID. We'll copy this.
Yep.
Paste here. And also we need the AWS account.
Mm-hmm.
Supply the AWS account. And also in this the Oregon region, we also supply which prefix is allowed. If you want to send all the default route to the on-prem, you can put 000. In our case, we allowed just on-prem networking, right? It was the 172.116.0.0/16.
Okay.
We go ahead.
Yep. All right. So the status is requested. What happens here? What's going on here?
So we have the supplied information here.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it's not automatically approved. What you need to do, we need to go in the AWS side, and under the DX gateway, we need to accept the request. We go in the AWS the account.
Yep.
And we go to the direct connect.
Mm-hmm.
And direct connect gateway.
Yep.
And this is the direct connect gateway we supplied on the SDDC side.
Yep.
If we go here under the proposal, we can see this TGW, right? So for example, if we go and look at here, this is the, it said the TGW, this essentially is the BTGW. BTGW use the TGW construct, but it shows the TGW.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you go and look at here under the support, it shows the TGW, right? It's the name of the TGW, same thing. So it's a
ending with 1251. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and so we go in here 1251. So make sure it's the same BTGW. So what we need is the request is the pending status. We'll go and accept it, right? We'll accept.
Mm-hmm.
Once we accept it, it will ask for, okay, what the prefix you need to supply to the. So basically we put the same thing, but if you like, you can put 000. But in my case, I just need the on-prem side range allowed.
Okay.
I put an accept proposal.
Mm-hmm. So that means,
accepted.
Yep.
Yeah, I have accepted. So it means it takes some time. If you go and look at the Oregon site.
Yeah.
To refresh, it takes some time. So when it is ready, it should like status active or so the green, right? So that's what some time.
All right. So while it is going through its connection, why don't you go and do the other steps?
Yeah, sure. So another step, what we will be going to do, pairing our BTGW with the TGW, as I shown on the diagram earlier. So here, what we do, so an external TGW tab, and click on Add TGW.
Yep.
And again, we need to supply the account information and TGW information. And what we do, we go in the AWS side and then go to the transit gateway section. Actually, it's under the VPC. So if you go in the VPC and look at the transit gateway, click on transit gateway. I have the already the TGW demo of the transit gateway. Just click on here for the information. I have the transit gateway ID. I'll copy this one.
Yeah.
And supply the information, right? So transit gateway ID. And also go back and then I have the owner AWS account ID.
Yep.
You need to supply this account ID as well. And this is not the location is the West Oregon.
Yep.
West Oregon. So we can go and look at Valdez, Oregon region. So you can see on the top, right? And then we need to supply the route prefix here.
Yes.
So what we need to do is what the route need to be allowed here is basically we pairing with the TGW. So our goal is to communicate with the EC2 instances on the VPC, right?
Yes.
So we have the two VPC that need to be communicated.
Yeah. So side range for those two VPCs.
Yeah, I'll supply the side ranges for the two VPC. That will be this side range of the VPC, right? I'll copy this one.
Yeah. That's VPC one.
That's VPC one. And again, so I go in VPC two, right? So if you don't need to have a communication with VPC two, you don't need to. But in my case, I'm putting both.
Got it. Yep.
Right. So
we are connecting multiple VPCs from there. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So. So VPC and click on add.
Okay.
So now we started showing the in progress. It's associating. Let's give some time. Okay. Okay, in the progress. So on the VPC side also, if you can go and look at the transit gateway, you can see it in the transit gateway attachment. It is also showing the pending acceptance, right? So it wait for the accept the connection, right? So it's not it's like the DX gateway. It's not like automatic approval. We need to accept it, right? To make it easier, I will give the name. For example, I'll give the name attachment and click on the tick. Now so let's change the name. Now what we need to go to the action and accept the transit gateway attachment.
Okay.
All right. So we click on the transit gateway attachment.
Yeah.
When we accept, it takes some time. The status is showing pending. So let's wait a little bit time here. So if you go in here, it's the pending acceptance.
Yeah.
We have accepted it. So shortly it will change the status to the associated or connected.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you can see that the attachment basically in the BTGW attachment is available now on the AWS side, right? So if you click on this the ID, if you can go and look at the BTGW, the ID has been shown here. It's available and everything looks good, right? So so it looks good. So another thing is what we need to do with the routing configuration. So VPC now doesn't understand the SDDC side of range, right? We need to go in the transit gateway routing table. We go and look at the routing table. If we see here, we can see the associated VPC and direct connection gateway. And also on the routing tab, we can see the VPC router are propagated, but we didn't have the route paths to SDDC, right? So what we do, we go to the association and then we create the association first.
Okay.
In our case here, this is the BTGW attachment. We put the BTGW attachment and create the association, right?
Okay. Yeah, it succeeded.
Yeah, so we go here and look at the association. It's associating. Let's give it a little bit of time. It shouldn't take that long time. You can see that the this peering is associated, right? This is associating with the transit gateway routing table. So you can see there. And now we go in the routing table. On the routing table, so we didn't have a route to the SDDC, right? So what do you do? We create the static route here, right? This is very important. So if you need to have a communication to SDDC, you need to have the static route on your transit gateway routing table, right? So create the static route. In my case, and I have the SDDC CIDR, then my workload is the 192 segment, right? 192.168.1.024 segment. Right. So I put this one.
So our virtual machines are sitting in that NSX segment.
That segment, yes, that's correct. NSX segment on the SDDC. So we need to have the BTGW attachment. In our case, this the 04 BTGW attachment, our remote transit connect. Click here. We add the static route, right? We go and look at verify again, and we can see in the route table. Let's give some time. You can see that the static route is the configure.
Okay.
It's active.
It's active now.
Good, right? And now we need to verify firewall rule in the place.
Yes.
And the VPC
the firewall on both sides, right? Both SDDC side as well as on VPC side. So for AWS, it's security groups. For NSX, it's a gateway firewall rule, right?
That's correct. So what we do on the first, since I'm on the VPC side, let me go and verify the EC2 instance, the security group, right?
Okay.
So EC2 instance. One of the VPC, in my case, for example, let's
VPC1,
VPC1. I click on instance.
Yeah.
This IP address is the 50, this one, right?
Yeah.
If we go and look at the security group, we didn't have the incoming from the SDDC, right? So what we need to do, we need to add the rule, right? So in this case here,
inbound
I do and it goes inbound rule. Add rule. I will have all ICMP for the test purpose, and then I will supply the SDDC workload segment, right? 192.168.1.0/24. Allow all ICMP, right? So
save rules.
Save the rules here. So now I can see that I can put the name SDDC 1 inbound to make the easier. I have allowed the traffic incoming from this one, and outbound, I can see outbound, all the traffic by default is allowed, all the protocols allowed. So
that's the default rule,
right. So I go in the VMware Cloud and AWS console, right? So I go on the SDDC side, and we need to place a firewall rule there.
Yes.
Yeah, SDDC 1. Let me open the NSX manager. While it's loading, let's go to the Linux OS and then trying to do the testing. Currently, it's we cannot ping, right?
Yes.
Currently, we cannot ping.
Yep.
let's go on the security section. We have the gateway firewall.
Yep.
And under the compute, and our root is under the compute gateway.
Yes.
So we go and create a role, right?
Okay.
So here, let's say SDDC 1 to VPC outbound first. Outbound. So the source, I have already created a source here, right? SDDC network.
Yep.
SDDC network, you can see the member here. If you look at the member, memory are the whole segment in there. So actually this VM is there, right? So
yeah.
This is the VM we ping. I put the source, destination will be our VPC, VPC network.
Yeah.
If you go and look at the member, I have supplied all the site around there.
Yeah.
Already there. Which is the VPC networks and apply.
Yeah.
And uplink. Okay, for now I put everything uplink, right? So
yeah, okay.
And then this is for the we need to have the inbound as well. Just the C1 VPC inbound, right?
Yeah.
Inbound rule. And let me choose the other way around, right? So VPC at the source.
Yeah.
And destination will be the SDDC network. For now, I put everything in the the service any and uplink is the all uplink.
Yeah, and we allow all of those. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And then we do the publish. Once we do the publish, now let's go and check here. You can see the ping connectivity resume, right?
Awesome.
So as per the goal is to make sure that we have the EC2 instance can ping.
Yeah.
Actually, the workload can ping to EC2 instance. So
excellent. Yeah.
If you go to the EC2 instance.
Yeah. We can do the same.
Yes, we can just do the ping test. Okay, this is the one we're pinging from the SDC side. Right. I go and connect to EC2 instance. Let me connect. 192.168.1.2 is our VM on the SDC side. So we can see the communication vice versa, right? Yeah.
So both sides, they are able to do ICMP pings, and it looks like it is all running okay. Yeah, it's excellent.
Right. Okay, so that is the goal of the today's demo. So we can see that the EC2 instance and the SDDC workload can communicate to each other.
Absolutely, man. Really appreciate what you showed us today. There's a bit of process there, but we now know how the AWS Transit Gateway works, how the VTZW works, and how we do the association, all of these things, right? It's really, really nice. Really appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, no worries.
So everyone, really thank you for your time today, and I hope you found this video useful. We look forward to seeing you again in our other episodes. So have a good one, and bye for now.
Thank you, sir.